We have to fight this in the courts. We have to fight this in the Congress. We have to fight this in the streets. Stop the coup. Stop the grift. Stop Elon Musk. Shut down the Senate. We are at war.
Peter.
Thank you, Caroline. Are any officials here preparing to fight Democratic lawmakers in the streets?
Absolutely not.
On behalf of the Department of Education, or were you told to come out here and block members of Congress from going to the desk?
I'm doing my job.
So everybody's
What is that?
We're doing our jobs.
We're trying to save you.
It's a non-responsive.
Show them your ID. Were you told to stand here, or did you decide to stand here and block members of Congress from entering the Department of Education?
to federal buildings.
Use the security
By members of Congress.
Welcome back to the Kyle McCullers Show. I am your host, Kyle McCullers, and today we've got a loaded episode with political chaos, backfiring ambushes, and some breaking news that's shaking things up. Here's what we got on the table. Democrats are going full meltdown mode over Elon Musk and D.O.G.E. Why the left's violent rhetoric is getting dangerous. The genius behind D.O.G.E. Who's really leading the charge and why it matters. A Democrat ambush at the Department of Education just backfired, and I'm going to be breaking it down. And the people are speaking. What are the latest polls saying? Could more states flip red in the midterms in 2026? And the big one, the one that just broke, Trump has officially revoked Biden's security clearance. Yeah, you heard that one right. You don't want to miss this one, so grab your coffee, sit back, and let's break it down. All right, let's start with Democrats' absolute meltdown over Elon Musk and D.O.G.E. Trump and Musk's newly created Department of Government Efficiency. Now, you would think that cutting wasteful spending would be a bipartisan effort. I mean, I guess besides the American people, who doesn't want to get rid of bloated government budgets and useless projects? But I guess we're starting to find out a little bit behind the mask of the Democrats. But nope, the left is losing their minds over this. And I think because there is obviously corruption, like, don't get it wrong. And it's interesting because in politics, the corruption is bipartisan. It's not that Republicans aren't corrupt, but it's because the left have had control over the government for so long. And I mean, outside of Trump, they've had the White House since Obama. That's what? That's 4, 8. Biden makes 12, right? 12 years. Trump had 4, right? So out of the last 16 years, almost 20 years, the left has had control of the White House and the government. So with Elon Musk and D.O.G.E. auditing the U.S. government's finances, there is a lot of stuff that is about to come out. And so who's leading it? Elon Musk. And of course, that's who they're trying to attack. That's who they're trying to destroy. But the violent reaction is of a cornered animal. And I think that is that's what's most off-putting. That tells me, oh, there's something coming. And they're doing everything they can because they really don't have any power, right? Their teeth have been taken away from them. They don't have the White House. They don't have the Senate. They don't have any recourse. They don't have the House. So all they can do is literally just melt down, and that's what's happening. Check this out.
We have to fight this in the courts. We have to fight this in the Congress. We have to fight this in the streets. Stop the coup. Stop the grift. Stop Elon Musk.
Shut down the Senate. We are at war. Anytime a person can pay $250 million into a campaign and they be given full access to the Department of Treasury, we are at war.
We have convened here in the right place, the Treasury Department. We have got to tell Elon Musk, nobody elected you.
Did anybody vote for a government of billionaires for billionaires? Are you ready to stand up and defend our democracy? What we're in the face of right now is an authoritarian takeover of our country, and we say hell no.
We will not take this. We will fight back. Fight back. Fight back. And as I close out, because I know we've been out here for a long time, and goddamn it, shut down the Senate. We are at war. We will see you in the courts, in Congress, in the streets. Elon Musk is a Nazi nepo baby.
We are not going to make America great again by making America hate again. We are going to stand and fight. All across America, people are knocked down, but they are getting up, and they are going to fight the dictator of Donald Trump and his henchman, Elon Musk.
We are going to be in your face. We are going to be on your asses, and we are going to make sure you understand what democracy looks like. This ain't it.
We will win. We will win. We will win. We will win.
Peter.
Thank you, Caroline. Are any officials here preparing to fight Democratic lawmakers in the streets?
Absolutely not.
So
And thanks for the question.
some elected Democrats are so steamed about DOGE. Congresswoman LaMonica McIver says we are at war. Ilhan Omar says we might actually see somebody get killed. And Chris Van Hollen says we have to fight this in the Congress. We have to fight this in the streets. So what now?
And may I just point out, if you heard that type of violent, enticing rhetoric from our side of the aisle, from Republican leaders on Capitol Hill, I think there would be a lot more outrage in this room today. It's unacceptable, the comments that have been made.
100% right. 100% right. It's unacceptable, and the fact that one side can say whatever they want and virtually get no backlash from the media, but the right says just 10% of that kind of stuff, and it's far right wing, and everyone's up in arms, and everyone's going crazy. It's a total double standard, and it is BS, and it needs to stop.
By these Democrat leaders, and frankly, they don't even know what they're talking about. Because President Trump was elected with a mandate from the American people to make this government more efficient. He campaigned across this country with Elon Musk, vowing that Elon was going to head up the Department of Government Efficiency, and the two of them, with a great team around them, were going to look at the receipts of this federal government and ensure it's accountable to American taxpayers. That's all that is happening here, and for Democrat officials to incite violence and encourage Americans to take to the streets is incredibly alarming, and they should be held accountable for that rhetoric.
100%. And you can see what they were talking about, right? And I think that this kind of reaction to a government audit speaks volumes of their character, and there's something that we are going to find that is going to change everything. Now, we all know Elon Musk is heading DOGE. We all know about the reaction of the left because of these audits. But let's talk about who's really working on the team, who's really working behind the scenes to do the streamlining of the U.S. government's money spending. My research has found that one of the people, and I don't know if he is the team leader, but he is definitely on the team, is Luke. His name is Luke Farator, and I'm not sure how you pronounce his last name, but he's 23. He went to the University of Nebraska, and he created an AI algorithm to read the text on ancient burned documents. So there was some scrolls, I think, from the volcano in Pompeii, that he was able to read. And I want to show exactly what kind of people that Elon has put together for this Doge team. And I think it's very important for us to get that kind of insight. So check this out.
So I've always been interested in history. Growing up, I learned Latin. I was never that good at it, but I was always kind of into that sort of stuff, read a lot about the Roman Empire and things. And one day I was just listening to a podcast back in March. It was with Nat Friedman. He just kind of got on the podcast, explained like there are these burnt up scrolls that were buried in the Pompeii eruption. No one knows how to read them, but some professors have created CT scans of these scrolls, and they uploaded the data on the internet as a competition to see who could find writing inside of these scrolls. And when I heard that, I was just immediately like, oh my goodness, this is such a cool project. I have to work on this. I just went home from work that day at the end of the day, and I've been working on it evenings and weekends ever since. I run most of the things from my laptop. It's just a normal MacBook, don't worry. But then I've just got like 5 surplus computers in here. This is what I do most of my work from. The Rake School and just the University of Nebraska as a whole has provided a great educational background where I can then, take these skills that I've learned and apply them to problems like this. I just spend hours upon hours staring at flattened pieces of the scroll like this, trying to find these patterns which are part of the writing. At the start of the challenge, we had not been able to find any writing at all within these scrolls. There are hundreds of these scrolls that are from the mansion. We've scanned a couple of them, and no one had been able to find any writing in them using these methods. Late one Saturday night, I was sitting at a party at a friend's house in Omaha, and I get a text from another person on the challenge team, and he says, hey, I've just uploaded this new kind of piece of the scroll, you should take a look at it. I remotely access my computer, I type into it like, please run the algorithm on this new piece of scroll. And then I just kind of started. I pull out my phone again, just nonchalantly, like, hey, I wonder how that went. And there are 3 Greek letters on the screen, letters I'd never seen before. It was really cool because it's like, oh my goodness, like we actually detected new writing in the scrolls using AI. That was the moment I realized like this is actually gonna work. Like we're probably going to read the scrolls. And I completely freaked out. My friends were there, I was cheering, jumping up and down, screaming, crying, all the stuff. I, took a picture of the results and I sent them to my mom. She called me and she's like, hey, these look great, It was a really special moment. Yeah, so this is the word that I actually found. It's right here. It's the word prophoros, which translates to purple. It's the first word we found in the scrolls. It was reviewed by a committee of kind of Greek scholars, but it's the word purple. And I'm glad it's not the word in or the or and that we found first. We actually found a word that has meaning. This would not be possible without modern AI and modern scanning techniques. People have wanted to read these books for hundreds of years, and this seems like the only way where it's really possible to do that. Now we're reading entire paragraphs from the scrolls, and hopefully we'll be able to read the entire book and read the hundreds of other books that were buried in this condition as well.
Yeah, he's a computer whiz. He's a freaking computer engineering nerd. That's who's running the team, or who's on the team of Doge, excuse me. He's a U.S. citizen, right? He's an American. He's a young kid who graduated college. He's the first in the world to develop an algorithm to read destroyed texts. He is a highly educated expert. And that's the beautiful thing about computers, is computers, and especially computer engineering, like, yes, there's basics that you learn, but you technically really don't need a college degree to know computers. There are a lot of people out there that never went to college that know more about computers than a bunch of college educated people have. But put that aside, what is the problem with a 23-year-old man who's college educated, who won an award for developing something that's never been done before? Why is that person not allowed to know what his government is spending in a democracy? Why are you putting him down and his team down because they're young? Isn't that ageist? Isn't that discriminatory? It doesn't matter that they're young. We want young people. We need young people. And they should know that the older people, the old people, are not corrupt, are not spending their future inheritance on their own wants and desires, sacrificing the future generation for their own greed. And if that team of highly educated whiz kids find a bunch of hidden corruption by old politicians, that is what we call poetic justice. And I cannot wait for that. It seems like we are on a roll with the Democrats. It's because they are crashing out, okay? These Democrats are crashing out. We've got to talk about one of the most funniest political fails of the week, but probably of all time. Like, I haven't seen this kind of fail in a long time. And whoever this guy is, and you'll understand when you watch the video, whoever this guy is the OG of the year. I'm telling you, this is going to go down this year. And it's crazy what this is happening. It's almost like 2024 is just spilling right into 2025, right? There is just, it's all gas, no brakes right now. The Democrats staged a full-on ambush at the Department of Education building, thinking they were going to go in there and expose and get a bunch of get like a sound bites and get some media. And they got the media. They got the attention they wanted. It just wasn't the kind they wanted because it completely backfired. They showed up, cameras rolling, ready to paint Elon Musk and Doge as the bad guys, only to get checked by this guy.
You told to come out here and block members of Congress.
They know that we are here.
Max, ask the question again. That's the important.
Were you told, are you making this decision to stand in front of this door on your own behalf, on behalf of the Department of Education, or were you told to come out here and block members of Congress and go at the desk?
I'm doing my job.
So everybody's
What is that?
We're doing our jobs. We're trying to save you.
It's non-responsive.
Show them your ID. Were you told to stand here, or did you decide to stand here and block members of Congress from entering the Department of Education?
to federal buildings.
We're allowed in there.
So a private security contractor
Do you know who members of Congress
blocking
are?
members of
We're all members of Congress.
Maybe he doesn't understand. Do you
A
understand
private
who
security
members of Congress
contractor
are?
is making the decision to block members of Congress from a public access entrance.
I don't think he knows.
You have the authority as a private
Congress is
security
or what we did.
contractor to block members of Congress. That has been knighted and granted to you.
You have to at least let us go to the desk.
Yeah. Sending the goons out. Oh my, look at that. Who told you to do this? Open the door. So do you understand who members of Congress are? I got it, yeah. Well, and you don't care. Who are we then?
I got the job.
You don't care. We have a job to do.
We're not dangerous people. We're not, I don't know, security. There are no thieves and thugs out here. We're members of Congress. We're parents, we're teachers.
Each of us.
There's our ID, right there.
We were elected to do this.
This is our job.
I've never seen one of
This is
those.
our job. We're doing our job.
Oh wow.
You're securing this building against who?
Members of Congress.
Who are you
The people.
protecting in
It's
this?
members of the People's
So
House
this is
represent
the
the
beginning of
people.
full transparency of this administration.
That's right.
The administration that talked about they're going to open the doors to all of these things and show the American public what is going on. They won't even open the door to this building to
Go to the
members of
visitor's
Congress.
desk.
We are not posing any threat here. We are not dangerous people. We have not done
won't even
anything.
let us
We're
talk to the
trying to
Department of
request a
Education.
meeting, and they won't. They have a private.
The hypocrisy is unreal. Did you hear what that woman just said? I don't know who that is. I don't know who that congresswoman is. But she said, this is the administration that talks about transparency and about wanting to see what's going on, and they won't even let us in the building. What are you talking about? The whole reason why you're at that building is because you're trying to prevent the transparency. It has nothing to do, you getting in that building has nothing to do with transparency, as if they're the ones trying to hide what they're doing. That is ridiculous. You're the people trying to hide what you're doing. You're the people trying to drum up all these false accusations. You're the one that's there with the media trying to change the narrative because you're so terrified of what they're actually going to do. The fact of the matter is that you guys are absolutely terrified. And that guy stood his ground. I mean, completely emotionally controlled. Maxine Waters ranting like a banshee. That other guy, all these guys trying to show their IDs. He doesn't care. And like he said, I'm doing my job. You guys can't come in here. And what are they going to do? They're going to manhandle him? No, of course not. And so they all disperse. They all go away. And there's two things that I don't want you guys to lose track of. One is when you stand your ground. When you stand your ground, the only other choice for them is to leave. And number two, they're all bark, no bite. They're all bark. They have no power. They can do nothing. And I think this segment was it was the biggest fail of all time. It was glorious.
Security contractor who on his own is making decisions on behalf of the Department of Education.
So Congressman Hayes, what you're saying is they allow billionaires and his minions to come in to this building.
I don't know who he is, but I know who I am. And I'm a member of Congress with oversight responsibilities trying to request a meeting, and a private security contractor is not allowing me to enter the building.
They allow billionaires to go in this building, but not the people's representatives. They allow billionaires and their cronies to go in, but not. There's a lack of transparency here. The members of Congress, the people's representatives are not allowed in. This is not transparent.
They're locking our kids out. Well, not only are they not letting us in, now they've called the Department of Homeland Security. We are members of Congress here to talk with the Department of Education, and they're treating us.
The kids deserve to have us go in and fight for them.
This is appalling.
Children of this country deserve that battle.
This is a public institution. This is not Russia. Let the camera see him. Let the camera see him.
He said, I don't know who that other congressman is that he said, but he said, the children of America deserve us to fight for them. They deserve that battle. I think you're mistakenly not understanding, sir. You just lost the battle. And it was 20 versus 1, and you lost right now. The battle is lost. You didn't just lose the battle, but you lost the war. You lost the war on November 5th when President Trump was elected. After your party tried to politically assassinate him, his character, his businesses, his home, you guys tried to take him out so that he could never be president again. You didn't just lose this battle, sir. You've lost the war. And now you're trying to act as if you can do anything possible to make anyone convinced that you have any power or any pull whatsoever. And you don't. And nobody's fooled. These antics are not making anyone's opinions change. And that's a perfect segue to our next segment. So let's shift gears and look at what people are actually saying. With the way things are going, open borders, crime waves, inflation, you'd think more Americans would be waking up. Guess what? They are. Check this out.
This political party, the Democratic Party, have lied to us about everything. They've lied about being the party of the middle class. They've lied about being the party of peace. They've lied about being the party that wants to help poor people. Okay? What the last several weeks have proven to us all is that this is a cadre of criminals and losers and spoiled children of affluent parents who were more concerned about looking good than actually doing good. These are people who were more concerned about looking like they were doing something for the American people than actually doing things for the American people. And that's why I'm so angry. Because this party lied to me while stealing my tax dollars. The Democratic Party lied to us all while they brought in millions of illegal immigrants for their own political purposes for the last 4 years. 20 to 30 million illegal aliens brought in, and now we come to USAID being probably the largest money laundering operation in American history. Congratulations, Dems. You've outdone even Bernie Madoff. I'm disgusted beyond words. Disgusted with the waste of money. Disgusted with the waste, with the fraud. With the way that you people use color legitimacy, and the way you use black people as f***ing mules to get us to push whatever f***ing agenda you wanted to. The amount of division you used black people to sow upon the American people, you used us for that. And I will never, ever forgive this political party that I've gone through personally. Y'all were supposed to be the party of free speech, the party of women's rights. You have immolated all of those things. And then, as if enough weren't enough, you then decide that you're going to die on the hill of USAID, a government audit. You're trying to prevent a government audit because some of you really are trying to stay out of prison. We see the game now. Y'all been out here telling us that the game was rigged against certain people. Well, now we found out who the people that were rigging the game were. Congratulations. Y'all are never going to win another political race ever again. Not if I can help.
Yeah, he pretty much summed it all up. And that is the growing sentiment that is happening. I want to share this video because I love this guy, Dr. Steve Turley. I watched him throughout the entire, all of last year, maybe 18 months leading up to the election. So a lot of this, Scott Pressler, who was big in Pennsylvania, was watching his progress for months. And Dr. Steve is one of the most fantastic people to follow for polls. And just the temperature on the ground. I really don't know him much other than what he on his YouTube, but he's phenomenal. And all the stuff that he was following and tracking with the polls was I'm talking about like spot on. So I want to take some time to just catch up with him and go through some of the polls to understand exactly where we are in America right now.
Latest poll from Quinnipiac. Now, remember, Quinnipiac is notoriously left-wing. Go ahead and look at the Real Clear Politics polling from 2024, and you'll see everywhere you see Quinnipiac, you're going to see Kamala with an unrealistic lead that she never had, right? Never, ever. Like Ann Seltzer in Iowa. She never had that lead. But regardless, with that in mind, even a left-leaning polling outlet like Quinnipiac is finding that Democrats are polling with just 31% support right now. Let that hit you. Barely 30% of voters have a favorable opinion of the Democrat Party. Nearly 60%, 57%, a supermajority, have an unfavorable opinion. Morning Consult, again, one of the more left-wing polling outlets out there, they just released a poll showing Trump actually has a plus 14 approval rating. Now stands at 52% approval. Again, this is a left-wing site. This is a left-wing polling outlet. It's just 38% disapproval. In fact, that same poll found that Trump is now among the top 5 most popular leaders in the entire world.
Let that sink in. Let that sink in. Trump now is among the top 5 leaders in the entire world in approval rating. What he has done, what he is doing, resonates with not just Americans, but those who are watching America from around the world. Even the Prime Minister of Japan, who he met with yesterday, talked about how meeting him, seeing him on TV, he is a scary guy, but meeting him in person, he's one of the nicest people he's ever met. And he's struck by his celebrity. He's starstruck. And that's what happens with Donald Trump. Donald Trump is the most famous human being on the planet. He is the most famous human. He is the biggest celebrity there is in the world. Okay? There is no one on earth that doesn't know who this man is. From terrorists and jihadists to freaking, poor people in China. Everybody knows who Donald Trump is. I don't think there's a corner of the world right now that doesn't know who this man is. And he's the top 5. He's in the top 5. Remember, it was just a few years ago where he was the most evil man on earth, right? He was Hitler incarnate, right? No one's buying it anymore. No one's buying it anymore. We're done. We're done. Now, for the biggest story of the day, Trump has officially revoked Biden's security clearance. This is huge. Biden is no longer in office, but, we already know he wasn't really in charge, right? And now that Trump's cut off his classified intelligence and the media, they're obviously losing their minds again, right? But Biden did the same thing to Trump. Check this out.
Developing right now, President Donald Trump has revoked former President Joe Biden's security clearance. This would block Biden from classified information and stop his daily security briefings. On Trump's Truth Social, the president said that it was actually Biden who set the precedent when he did something similar to Trump in 2021.
Fox, I'm Andrew Kraft. Well, the breaking news just keeps coming here. I want to put up this post that President Trump just issued on his Truth social media platform here, and it has to do with former President Biden. Let's put this up. So according to Dan Scavino, the White House communications director, happening now, he says President Trump has revoked Joe Biden's security clearances. Let's read this. If we can take it full, I'm going to read the whole post. He says there is no need for Joe Biden to continue receiving access to classified information. Therefore, we are immediately revoking Joe Biden's security clearances and stopping his daily intelligence briefings. He set this precedent in 2021 when he instructed the intelligence community to stop the 45th president of the United States, me, exclamation point, parentheses, from accessing details on national security, a courtesy provided to former presidents. The Her report revealed that Biden suffers from, quote, poor memory, and even in his, quote, prime, could not be trusted with sensitive information. He says, I will always protect our national security. Joe, you're fired. Make America great again here. So this is somewhat of a piece here because as Trump highlighted in that very post, President Biden at the time did the very same when Trump left the White House the first time. He also name-checked there Her, you remember, Robert Her, the special counsel, tapped by Maryland.
Yeah, so this is critical because Trump said something very, and that's why this anchor is saying it's a piece, because Trump said something there that is going to carry a lot of weight moving forward. Biden set precedent, right? He did something that wasn't done before. Now there's going to be a pattern. Hate him or like him, Ben Shapiro had some good commentary back in 2024 regarding, I can't remember what the specific thing that was happening, but his analogy was, once you break the glass, once you've broken the glass, case for the emergency, or once you've broken the glass case, like you can't go back, basically. And the Democrats had done that, right? They had violated that by attacking Trump politically, or lawfare. It was the lawfare, right? It was a politically motivated lawfare against Donald Trump to try to drum up anything to put him in jail so that he could not run for president and be elected, right? That's what they were trying to do for years, right? And that once that cat is out of the bag, once that glass case is broken, now you've now set a precedent for someone else to come into the office and do the exact same thing to you, right? And so they've made a lot of mistakes, the Democrats, by doing things that have never been done before, trying to destroy Donald Trump. And now they're getting a taste of their own medicine. And that, to me, it is just what it is now. They've changed the whole landscape of what politics is now. And so, personally, he's right. That Robert Hur report, remember when Robert went to Joe Biden and was doing the report and asking him about his son and asking him about the classified documents that he had since he was a senator? He'd even have the presidential covering, or the authority or the mantle of president to be able to have special classified documents in possession. He was a senator. He wasn't allowed to have those at all, and he had them stored in an old car in his garage that weren't secured and anything. And then when that report was done, and they didn't want to release the tapes, they didn't want to prosecute him because he wasn't fit to stand trial. So we knew that he was not mentally capable, and so we know for a fact he wasn't running anything. Whoever's been running the government, which is most likely Nancy Pelosi and her cronies, for the 3.5 years that he was actually incapacitated and geriatric, so that's a great point, and I just wanted to bring that up.
President Trump is responding in kind, although years later, a little bit delayed here, doing the same that Biden did to him, revoking President Biden's security clearances and taking away presidential intelligence briefings that are afforded to former presidents, although not anymore for former President Biden.
All right, well, that's it for today's show. There's a lot of stuff we covered. Democrats losing their mind over Musk and D.O.G.E, the mastermind, and one of the big guys on the team, Luke, the embarrassing backfiring ambush of the Democrats, the Department of Education, the poll numbers shifting to Trump's favor, and Trump pulling the plug on Biden's security clearance. If you enjoyed this episode, do me a favor, like, subscribe, comment, share, all the things, and let's keep the conversation going. Also, don't forget to follow me on Instagram at the Kyle M Show and on X at Lux and Veritas. Next time, stay sharp, stay bold, and don't fall for the lies. See you in the next episode. Take care.